At some point in your life as an INFP, there might come a time where you find that maybe you've gotten a little bit self-absorbed. Maybe you spend way too much time thinking about yourself. Maybe you're way too concerned with your own needs, your own desires, your own personal hobbies and interests, and a little bit disconnected from other people, from communities, from your local environment and what's happening around you in the world, in your friends' lives and in your relationships, in your partners' lives, right? So in this video, I want to talk about how INFPs can reconnect with the world. Now, if you're starting to have these thoughts that you'd like to be more loving, more compassionate, you'd like to be more connected, you'd like to be a part of something, right? Well, that's a sign that you're starting to move into what we call the green stage in spiral dynamics. And in the green stage, we move from being achievement-oriented and professionally motivated to being more socially motivated. And often the green stage is about forming a connection to your local environment, finding communities around you, and taking more of an interest in other people's lives. It can also mean a sudden desire to want to have children, for example, or to adopt a dog, or to adopt an animal. It can mean wanting to, for example, really find a partner, somebody that you can live with, somebody that you can be together with. And it can mean, this desire to say, hey, I'm ready for the next step in my life, right? So what it really comes down to is every single person can be a little bit self-absorbed today. We live in a very individualistic society, which means that we often think very transactionally about things. What can I get from this person, and what do I provide for this person? Not, what do I connect with in this person, and what does this person connect with and resonate with in me, right? When we have conversations here, it's often important to change the entire script that you built up and trained for yourself. Here, we often ask questions like, what do you do for a living? What do you work with? What are your skills? What are things that you like, And so here, what I want you to do is, I want you to change how you think about these things. Let go of those questions and instead ask more personal questions. What do you like about your work? What is something that makes you feel that makes you fall in love with another person? What are some things that you connect with? What are some things you find beautiful in the world? What are some things that upset you about the world? These kind of thoughts and topics help you really connect with the person as a person, right? And here, what we're thinking about is fostering sensitive, deep, and emotionally connected conversations with other people. This is where you find that, hey, I'm done with small talk and I want to talk about something real. And green helps you know how to talk and how to have something real, how to ask the right questions, how to pay attention, how to notice things about other people. Often, as an INFP, journaling is a powerful tool to get to know yourself, but it can also be a way to get to know other people. So how I would go about it is, if I'm meeting somebody, I would say often I write journals about that person. I try to think about things that they said that I connected with. I try to pay attention to things they admitted to or noticed, or times when they tensed up, or times when they shined up and sounded extra happy. I might pay attention to their body language, their smile, their eyes, things about them that I really like about them. And so I might try to dig down into this, oh yeah, I noticed that this person said this, and then I heard them kind of start to look in that direction, start to daydream and mind wander a bit. And I noticed that when they were talking about this topic, they started to really smile. And oh, I noticed this was a point where they seemed to be a bit sad or a bit stressed. And is this something I can dig into deeper and ask more about next time I meet them? It can be a way to find ways to connect more the next time you hang out. And here it might be, oh yeah, I'd like to ask them more about this. It seemed like this was a big topic for them, and I'd like to understand it better. I understand that this is a big driver for them. This is something they feel very motivated by, and I'd like to ask more about that. These kind of things are what help us, really feel seen and appreciated by other people. And ultimately, it leads to forming deeper bonds and relations to the outer world. And often, these are conversations that we should be having. These are the conversations that would make the world a less lonely place to be in, right? Now, often the problem, the dangers of this stage of wanting to connect with other people is taking a very selfish way of looking at it, right? It can be, I wish I met somebody that came up to me and started talking to me and started asking me these questions. I wish other people would come see me and listen to me more and to appreciate me more, right? But What you want to do, if you really are interested in connecting with other people, is you want to connect with other people. And that can mean trying to think about what you can do to be a more loving person, what I can do as a person to have better relationships, what kind of questions I should ask myself or ask other people in order to make them feel listened to, right? And here, what we're doing is we're paying it forward, right? So we live in a split the bill society, and I kind of reject the idea of splitting the bill. What I say is pay it forward all the way. And what I mean with this is, you know, I'd love to play for you. I'd love to pay for you this time. And you're more than welcome to pay for me next time if you like. You know, these kind of things, you know, initiating and inviting a society where people collaborate and put trust and show trust, because truly trust is a very cheap resource to give. Often the most basic forms of trust are, for example, touching somebody gently on the shoulder, giving them a hug instead of handshake, you know, like making eye contact with them and making them feel seen for a second. It's these things that we do to say, hey, I trust you, I feel connected to you, I resonate with you. And on top of that, you know, when you say, hey, I'd like to pay for you this time, I had a really good time. You know, what you're really doing is you're inviting generosity, and you're inviting and inspiring them to do the same thing. And here, what they might do the next time they go out, maybe not even with you, but with another person, is they might say the same thing. Oh, I'd like to pay for this person, you know. And so we're we're changing a culture. We're changing a culture from individualism to something more mutualistic. And here, what we're doing is we're not really undoing individualism, because true to say, individualism was a good movement, did good things, does still do some good in the world, right? It's nothing wrong with being interested in yourself and in your own achievements and in wanting to achieve and make something of yourself. And of course, in order to love and connect with other people, you do also have to love and connect with and to pay attention to yourself and your own needs. And what we're looking for is, of course, authentic and real conversations, relationships where we can all come and bring ourselves into every situation. The thing is, I think we're ready for the next stage, a stage where we connect with people in a more community-oriented way, and where we let ourselves progress to another level of consciousness that goes beyond just ourselves, but also thinks about how we can connect and have authenticity everywhere we go, in groups, in close friendships, and in relationships, and in everything that we do.